Hi, William Hououin here for New Villagers and Heroes poll discussion. So this time it's all about raids. Let's see what V was asking. All about raids. Did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? How many characters did you raid with this season? How do you normally raid? Solo, server run, guild, other? Which raid is your favorite and why? Which raid is your least favorite and why? What are your hopes for the next raid season? So let's see what the community thinks about that. So first we have DL saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? I got to gold on all raids and just stopped, cause I was lazy and didn't feel like raiding anymore. Nothing wrong with the raids themselves. How many characters did you raid with this season? Just one, my marksman hunter. How do you normally raid? Solo, server run, guild, other. I soloed bronze and some silvers, and the rest were mostly guild runs. Which raid is your favorite and why? Rookery. I like killing Lilith. I like myself to be Lilith's servant. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Catacomb. Do I need to mention why? What are your hopes for the next raid season? I'll leave the answer of these two players like math. Well, thank you very much for your answers. Alright, now we have Squishy Locks. If by complete you mean at least one full set of tiers, I completed silver. The main obstacle was time and lack of desire. I ran 2 through. One completed all silver, the other gave up trying to get groups for Catacomb. So I didn't complete silver. I usually run Pogs or Guild. My favorite is... I'm not sure to be honest. Kata is my least favorite because no one wanted to run it. I don't have any opinion on next season. Well, that was short and sweet. Now we have Basha saying, number 1, I am 2 raids away from my flare on my lightning warrior. I ran some bronzes on alts. I would have done more, but real life stuff got in the way. Number 3, where's number 2? Oh well. On my lightning warrior, I solo through gold, except catacombs, then do platinum with the guild. Number 4. My favorite raids are Cloister and Swamp. Cloister is fun, especially with a group, and it reminds me of the old dungeon runs. Swamp is just fun. 5. Catacombs. I am not that good with puzzles, and need to keep a notepad next to me for some of them. Same with Veld. Which is annoying, since I play on a tablet. Number 6. The raids themselves are fine right now as far as I see. The changes I'd like to see are more items available in the vendor to buy, and a reduction in the buff cost. Half would be good. Well, I cannot argue with that. Seems that catacombs are not very well liked. Anyway, thanks for commenting. And now we have Matt Fish slacking with William will be disappointed in me. All my answers can fit in a single Discord message. LOL. Did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes. How many characters did you raid with this season? 1. How do you normally raid? Solo, Pog, Guild, Other. Solo until gold, then a mix of solo and guild until heroic, and then pretty much all guild. Which raid is your favorite and why? Which raid is your least favorite and why? It is really difficult for me to pick a favorite or least favorite. It feels like there were a lot of amazing ideas that went into forming the raids. Then people got them and ruined it all. Raids are like a grand coliseum that was great a few thousand years ago, but it's now abandoned. It is neat to look at or keep in a museum, but taking part in it doesn't bring the fun that it used to. Well, to be honest, I didn't raid like at all this season. Real life stuff, and I don't know. I didn't feel like doing that. I'm not huge on combat. I don't know. Anyway, then he continues with, what are your hopes for the next raid season? Honestly, I don't really have any hopes for raids. Perhaps I can take a hard look at the raids and see if there's anything I would like to see different, but I'm not feeling particularly inspired to do so. Sorry. Well, it's not your job, you know. It's fine. Now we have PD saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes. How many characters did you raid with this season? 1. How do you normally raid? Solo, server run, guild, other. I do what I can solo to start the season off. Then I help others. Then others help me. Then I help others. Which raid is your favorite and why? Not sure that I have a favorite. I like most of them because they require teamwork. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Rook. I can't stay alive in there, even with fire. The snowmen get me every time. There are too many things going on. I dislike Islet for the same reason. Well, in Rook, you don't have to stay alive, you just have to become the slave of Lilith. I think most people don't understand this raid. Anyway, what are your hopes for the next raid season? That everyone has fun and is able to reach their goal for this season. That's very kind of you, PD. Next. It's Seridwin coming with, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? 1 tune finished. 1 more will finish this week. The other 3 couldn't solo past where they were, and of course time. Also, as non-95, any gear or relics were only briefly useful once their level went up. How many characters did you raid with this season? 5. Yikes, that's quite a bit. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. Solo, bronze, and some silver. My main had to solo platinum kata twice to finish because it was hard to find a group that would run it and could succeed. This was prior to the tweaking, first week if I recall correctly. Guild raids and some pogs. Which raids is your favorite and why? Swamp, because it's fun. Rook, because running back after a death is a straight shot. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Kata, because success is too iffy for reasons too numerous to list. Veld, because of puzzles and chains. What are your hopes for the next raid season? Item store prices, especially for things like half heals mana, could be lower. Thank you very much for your comment. Alright, now we have Cosmic Kitty saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? I guess Plat is considered completing, if so, yes. I'm at heroic, I can't say this word. I'm at heroic on all. How many characters did you raid with this season? Just 1. I did some bronzes on my alt, but nothing beyond that. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, run, guild, other. I did bronze solo, but after that guild or friend runs. Which raid is your favorite and why? Swamp and catacombs. Swamp is just fun. Everybody's saying this. Take note, devs. I really like the river, especially with swim pots. Kata, I really like the randomness of it. Oh, somebody that likes the catacomb. The bosses are challenging but fun. I do wish they'd remove the run back, it just feels unnecessary. And then Cosmic Kitty continues with, which raid is your least favorite and why? Veld. I don't like dying in lava, it's still very buggy and I get stuck in the chains. Plus there was that whole use a summon and the boss suicides thing. What are your hopes for the next raid season? I'd like to see an original raid mount toy. I don't care that much if it has speed, but I'm kinda over recolors. Finishing all raids is hard. I'd like to be rewarded with something that took someone over 5 minutes in Photoshop to make. I'd also like the belt chains to be less buggy. Last I ran it, there's still certain places you get stuck. I'd also love some kind of teleport in Cloister. If you die, the run back is so insanely long. And then there's a bit more. Maybe it would be a good idea for Kata to have separate rewards from the other raids. I've seen so many people mad about Catacombs. A lot of people quit raids over it. I personally don't want to see it nerfed, so maybe the answer is to separate and give a different award for completing it. Oh, and the Legendary Gear Plat Raid rewards, make them the correct subclasses. Oh, yikes. Yeah, it must suck. Oh, I'd also really like more controls of who joins open raids. You should be able to limit at least dungeon level, if not both dungeon and player level. Well, I pretty much agree with that. Thank you very much for commenting, Cosmic Kitty. Now it's Fergus' turn. Did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Nope, too boring and seems rather pointless. How many characters did you raid with this season? 3. Fire Wizard, Shadow Priest, Holy Priest. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. Solo/guild. Which raid is your favorite and why? None. Yikes. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Flooded, what's it? Slogging through at half speed just made it all the more annoying. What are your hopes for the next raid season? None whatsoever. Well, Fergus, seems you really didn't like the raid season. Okay. Now we have Sir Babo saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes. How many characters did you raid with this season? 5. 2 completed and the other 3 were just picking up relics. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. Solo, 3 group and some guild runs. Which raid is your favorite and why? Woods, swamps, veld, rook, and palace are, in my opinion, the definition of a raid. Short, challenging, and interesting in the different dynamics they all have. They all can last 20 minutes or less, giving it more of a raid experience over the other 2. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Cloister. The endless running is pointless in there and 3 boss is glitchy at best for solo runs. The mana increase is crazy at times and I've had it where the mushroom never spawns, making it less desirable. Catacombs. I think the idea is good, but the overall finish article isn't appealing at all and has basically left a lot of sour taste in people's experiences. The fact it's allowed to be harder in fighting is ridiculous at best. So no matter what platinum tier raid you do, the mob's bosses should be the same throughout the raid. To be honest, I hate this raid the most due to the unfairness more than how difficult a puzzle is or a speed run back after the boss. What are your hopes for the next raid season? Obviously, make Catacombs difficulty the same level as all the other raids. Have heroic raids removed from the regular raids and make a second raid tier progression of ultimate difficulty with different rewards. Hero, oh man, I need how do you call that? No, a word that means that, but it's not like that at all. Okay, from now on, heroic will be potato. So when I see heroic, I'm just gonna say potato. Potato 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 has the different tier levels. Only way to do the potato raids is progression from the regular ones. The catacombs runs and needs to be removed from tombs and worked into Rook after defeating evil Elsa. Tombs boss needs lanes on the floor, mobile users are limited on the screen, so it's tough to figure out a safe area between the burners. Arena survival raid that as time goes on bosses are harder, gathering crafting raid. Permanent relics. I would like permanent relics. Would give a pretty good incentive to run more raids. And now we have Wolf Runner saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Nope. I wanted to finish the gold raids just for the mount, but pickup groups aren't very good usually. Or at least I haven't had any success with a pickup group. Everyone dies multiple times, then everyone quits. Most of my guildmates were way ahead of me and don't run the lower level raids. How many characters did you raid with this season? One toon is on gold level for all the raids. I have a few others I did the first 3 raids with, but I don't like soloing the raids because it's kind of boring by yourself. How do you normally raid? Solo, server run, guild other. With friends or guild is what I prefer. See the above answer for my thoughts on soloing raids. Then they continue with, which raid is your favorite and why? I actually kind of like all of them but Velt. I hate the chains. Yeah, seems they're pretty buggy. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Again, Velt. The chains are awful, especially running the bases part. I can't remember the boss there, but with one with the little islands and chains connecting them. I call it running the bases. It's horrible. What are your hopes for the next raid season? Maybe to actually complete the raids for the rewards. That would be nice. Ditch the Indiana Jones run at the end of Catacomb. Maybe we could keep the relics instead of them disappearing at the end of raid season. Pretty much agree with that. And now we have Ishan. So just before I start reading his stuff, Ishan is my own Discord channel moderator. I do have a Discord channel that is about my YouTube channel, but some other stuff. And he is often scolding me, like saying, you need to shill your Discord channel more. And I usually don't. And so here it is. I have a Discord channel. The links are in the description. You can come and join. We have a bunch of nice people there. This is where I post all of my non-villagers and heroes video. I do quite a bit. So there it is, Ishan. I've plugged it. I did it. Okay, so he says, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? I only completed till gold rank. Didn't go for platinum rank, mainly because I personally don't have enough time anymore. Yeah, adulting is hard. How many characters did you raid with this season? One, always one. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. I try to go with friends always, though I soloed a lot too. Which raid is your favorite and why? Rookery, the fire inner warmth mechanic is fun. I was about to say something, but I chose not to. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Orla. I hate running on chains and falling due to lag, and I still and always will hate Nicodemus. Darn that guy, always making me waste time in the beginning. What are your hopes for the next raid season? No new raid zone, just a new banner flare and mount with no abilities. Questions about how to improve the game when, so I can give my controversial takes along with Madfish. Well, we'll see. It's all V who's choosing what poll he's making. Anyway, thanks Ishan for your comment. Alright, next we have Uza Darkstar / Kearney. Did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Completed on my main, the final dozen or so took forever as it was all Rook and Palace. How many characters did you raid with this season? Only one as usual, my other characters are more villagers than heroes. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. Bronze and silver were a mix of guild and solo gold. Platinum and potato were all guild. Which raid is your favorite and why? I like most of them for different reasons. This season certainly had the most variety. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Kata. The number of one-shot death in this raid mean I end up burning a lot of resis in each and every one. Even worse when we are defeated by the clock and all that effort and resources, resis, mana pots, etc. goes to waste. What are your hopes for the next raid season? I would love to be able to exchange unwanted relics for ducats. I hate destroying them, it seems such a waste. At least one new raid to master, no kata or at least an end to the one-hit death there. Relics that do not vanish a few weeks after the end of the season. Raid rewards that take into account the fact that I play fire not ice. Even when I rebirthed, the game decided to give me ice gear. I play fire. Thanks for your comment. And now, we have the artist formerly known as Ash. Did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes, I did. How many characters did you raid with this season? 2 and both completed in the first month. Ooh, a heavy raider. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. Solo on my sham with some party raids with friends, and any and everyone I could on my wizard. Which raid is your favorite and why? Swamp. I don't know, it was the first raid I attempted and could solo. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Palace. A lot of mobs you can't bypass and then Prince having to battle him down to 75, 50, 25 took a lot of time in solo. What are your hopes for the next raid season? Maybe some sort of credit progress reward for raids completed in previous season. Let's be honest, nothing changed in the raids from previous seasons, and it gets mundane doing the same raids over and over. Now we have Zazie saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? I completed my personal goal. I earned the toy from completing the silver tier. I decided at the beginning of the season that this was what I wanted to earn, and my running partner had the same goal. We both achieved it. I wasn't interested in devoting any more time or effort to running raids past this point. I enjoy being a more casual raider, and so does my other half. How many characters did you raid with this season? Only one of my tunes unlocked anything past bronze. The other three tunes merely dabbled a little bit to earn relics and ducats. My warrior and Wheezy both gambled away their ducats from a couple of runs in an attempt to gain specific necklace runes at a specific level after I gave up on loot drop hunting from them using locking nyums. I never said that word before out loud, I think. Didn't have any luck getting them from the ducat chests either. How do you normally raid? Solo, server run, guild, other? I can't solo anything past bronze on my tunes who run raids. My two main tunes are both DPS and are also subclasses that struggle to solo raids. I ran a few solo bronze raids, the rest all my silver raids, and most of the bronze were with guildies and friends. I did run a couple of bronze silver pogs that were open to all players on the server, but those were in the minority. Which raid is your favorite and why? I don't have a favorite. I have two that I really dislike, and all of the rest are about the same in terms of how much I enjoy them. Which raid is your least favorite and why? My two least favorite are the ones that made me cuss and die the most, Veld and Catacombs. With Veld, it was falling off those blasted chains again, while trying to dodge the orange AoE effect. Catacombs, I got better at not falling to my death on the way back and not dying at the boss who blasts the cannon, but I never really enjoyed that raid. What are your hopes for the next raid season? I would really like being able to create a raid that both people on my friends list and guildies can join. At the moment, you have to choose between those two groups of people. Not all of my friends, people who I would happily raid with, are in the same guild, nor are all of my guildies on my friends list. I feel it feels very wasteful to throw your unwanted relics into the trash. I would happily trade those in just for a handful of ducats. It doesn't need to be a huge amount, even just 1 ducat per relic exchange would be fine. I've seen quite a few other players express the same opinion about their relics. My toon who has done the most raids has been saving all of the different relic runes, some in her vaults and the rest in her bags. I like doing this because it allows me to tweak my build and choose from a variety of relics depending on what I'm doing at the moment. Assuming that others who run even more raids than I do are willing to devote some storage space to their relic collection, then why wouldn't we also be allowed to gain something from selling the lower ranked relics that we don't want? I mean, fair point for sure. Once I had a rare version of a relic, any additional uncommon ones of that type that I got went straight into the trash as if they were absolutely worthless. I don't mind the relics having an expiration date, but I would really appreciate it if all of the relics I earned had some meaning to them. I really appreciated the weekly rewards this raid season. That was what kept me going until I reached my goal, without burning out on the way. I also really liked the variety of new outfits and mounts available for ducats. I was working towards earning the silver toy, but it was that dragon mount that I was really aiming for. Was quickly running out of room and forgot to add that if the devs don't like the idea of being able to sell relics for ducats, perhaps they could be sold for silver and copper instead. I would expect higher level relics to sell more than lower level ones, and rares to be worth more than uncommons, etc. Well, yes, I think the base thing here is we want the stuff that we earn to have some value. If we cannot use them, at least give us something in exchange that has some value. We don't ask for, a huge thing, but at least not just trash, because you just run the raids and it was kind of for nothing. Time is precious. All right. Now we have Jar saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes, I reached heroic level 15 in Catacombs. This was very funny because it was a real challenge. How many characters did you raid with this season? 1. Fury Warrior. How do you normally raid? Solo, server run, guild, other. I raid solo. Which raid is your favorite and why? My favorite is Catacombs, because I like the new bosses mechanics and the real challenge if we compare with others. I ran mainly Catacombs and didn't waste time with others. Bandicoot Wood is so easy in comparison. Well, I won't argue with that because you know how you feel about those, but this is definitely not the popular opinion. You have to do more than 20 arrow. Almost got me there. You have to do more than 20 potato if you want to find some difficulties. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Orla Velt, because I really don't like puzzle part and it is too long and annoying. Last combat boss is okay and can be hard, but the rest is not really interesting. Oh, Jar, are you French? I would guess you are. What are your hopes for the next raid season? I really like raid system. This is the only challenge in the game, but I don't like to have to do 5 runs for each level. In total, you have to run 140 raids to reach all potatoes levels. Too repetitive. I don't like also that you have to complete all previous raids to unlock the new one or to try to get a good ranking. Each season you have to do more raids than previous season. My hope is that we will need to do 3 raids instead of 5 to unlock the next level and next raid. Regarding rewards, I don't understand why we get some blue items in Potato. This is not very encouraging. I hope we will get real rewards in potatoes. Agree. Next. We have Own saying, did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes and no. Yes, completed on 2 toon this season. No, got bored with raids as it is tedious to do since I completed every previous raid seasons but had to pick which tunes I wanted to finish on. Last season I completed on 3 tunes but got burned out into a vacation. How many characters did you raid with this season? 3, but completed on 2 only. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. This season, mainly solo. 3s to help and carry a few friends to complete raids. Other size group because why not? Usually on the tune that already finished the season. Which raid is your favorite and why? No favorite, but my preference was Bandicoot Woods, man. Main reason to farm gear as a nature hunter. Secondly, abuse Natural's Veil in solo to avoid unnecessary mobs and focus objectives only. Well, for all raids. Thank you for fixing Nature's Veil. It made solo raids done quicker and faster. Also allow to farm mobs or to stealth past mobs that are not part of the raid's objectives. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Kata never provide that completed experiences. For example, only one relic that only dropped through whole season that will never replace the mask that dropped from Swamp or Palace. Kata was an incompleted raid as several patches happened over time to try to fix bug, lags, other necessity, and a few attempted fix that did not happen. Last patch I read and later went back in to finish on my second tune before season was over, end up finding out that Kata is performing the opposite of the latest patch notes in regards to Kata's changes. Regardless, Bug reported once and finished raids and never bothered with it again. What are your hopes for the next raid season? No hopes. My main reason was to farm gears. Unless more players finish raids on several tunes for a single season, then I don't expect more players to want the seasonal rewards to be account bound. That is my wishful thinking, including a few players who agree with me, but we are the minority. Players who never raid, or never finish every raid seasons, or never completed raid seasons with several tunes to feel that tedious boring experience or to reach burnout from raid. Because you are doing the same thing over but just on a different tune that can easily finish the raid that you already finished on your main. Will not want or wish seasonal rewards to be account bound for all existing tunes you have if you completed the raids. Thus, no hope for future raids, except make seasonal rewards account bound for all existing characters and leave tier progression rewards like the relics and gears, like Soulbound Legendary from tiers progression rewards, for the tune that accomplish that feat. Also, on an old forum post way back, I did say that rewards is fixed to reward the right class, but not for gears that mastery stats of a class are allocated to. Are still being rewarded as the wrong subclass. Anyway, I think my reply was brushed off. To this day, raids reward wrong subclass mastery stats for equipments where mastery stats are allocated more often than they should be, and it feels like it is coded to do so under RNG pretense, and that is based on my experience leveling and playing several classes. Again, no hope for raids. My desire to play VNH again depends on the next expansion and whether classes gets improved or revamped. For me, game is getting boring as it still has the same skills feats for classes over the past years. But it's fine as I'm on a break from VNH and is my third weeks or so of not logging into the game. Well, we can all burn out at some point or another. Very few games are meant to be played forever by, every player. Anyway, thanks for your comment. Now we have Tweety Bird, chirp Tweety, saying, I complete raid season with my primary. I only ran my primary. I raid in party raids. I don't really pay attention to the raid level or who I run with. I just like to run in parties. I think I like Veld best, but it might be Woods. I hate Rook. Pass me the bucket of worms, I need to gag. I am hoping outfits to match the mount will be added. Well, thanks for your comment. Now we have Kaya Kitty Feathers saying, made it to the potato this season on Kaya. Main obstacle for getting higher was person was raiding with stopped having them as often in real life. Most of the available raids were lower level. Mostly raided on one tune, did do a bit of gear farming on a second tune. I normally raided in open 15-person raids with some groups of 3 or 6. Did a few bronze solos just for dailies and or weeklies. My favorite is probably Cloister or Swamps. They're very straightforward. Woods, Rookery, Palace are next. They each had something minor I disliked. My least favorite were Catacombs and Veld. Catacombs I loved the puzzles, but most of the rest not so much. The run back after the tomb is opened tense fight, and the craziness of the last battle where too much is going on simultaneously makes it hard to locate safety long enough to fire a feat off. Are the three worst things in that order. Velt, the third puzzle, the chains on Nicodemus, and the last fight once it drops, on higher than bronze. The fact there are still a few sticky places where to get free you end falling in the lava or getting hit by the boss AoEs. It's hard to fire off feats, whether it's attack or heal, and run at the same time. Would like to see the previous items mount available for sale with ducats, especially the purple items that were given in Season 2 when they switched how raids were done. It would give players a chance to get some of the items they missed for various reasons, or with the mounts, bring back items that are different with the same stats. Speed of Maddox's Wind, speed and jump of last season Velt mount, name eluding me at the moment. And then Kaya tagged me saying, hope there is time to include this. And as my thumbs up meant, yes, there was still time. I'm on vacation, everything is kind of late right now. And now the last, but not the least, Amaranthine. Amaranthine, I said it exactly the same, right? Alright. Did you complete the current raid season? If not, what were the main obstacles? Yes. How many characters did you raid with this season? 2. Another toon ran but don't intend to complete. How do you normally raid? Solo, server, guild, other. Friends with guildies. Which is your favorite raid and why? As DPS, Rook and Woods. Short and sweet. As heals, Kata. Mostly ran this in small groups, but to me it feels the most satisfying to complete. There's a lot going on, but I find healing is so fun here because of absolute chaos. That being said, I don't run it purely for fun, much as it takes away longer. Yeah. Which raid is your least favorite and why? Cloister overall. Too much running. Melee toon, Kata. Targeting and falling off plus running back is horrible. What are your hopes for the next raid season? Not sure I enjoy the raid format too much, as I feel the repetitiveness of raids kills a lot of the fun. I would love to see something different but shorter to complete. Not sure how this can work. Maybe raid taking place in a single room, challenge coming in waves. That could be interesting. Less running is always appreciated. Such as your comment is always appreciated. And with that, we are done. Thanks for everybody who chimed in for that poll that was all about raids. Hope I'll see you soon and have fun playing VNH. Thanks for watching and bye bye.